Hi y'all. Today I wanted to talk about how to Auraxium weapons quickly. Perhaps you're a directive grinder looking to unlock new directive weapons, perhaps you just want that shiny metal, perhaps you're just trying to collect shiny metals, or perhaps you just like a bit of advice on racking up kills because, some people do enjoy getting big kill streaks. So, I'm hot off the heels of a 7.5 hour Viscount Auraxium, and throughout it, and throughout my most recent Auraxiums, I've kind of learned how to Auraxium weapons quickly, what kind of fights are good, what kind of situations are good. Now, just because there's a big fight somewhere doesn't mean it's a good fight to put a medal on or to farm in, and I'll be getting into that shortly. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that can determine how quickly you Auraxium a gun is your mechanical skill. As a new player, my first Auraxiums on the PDW and Eridani were about 25 and 24 hours each. As I got better, I usually averaged about a 14 to an 18-hour Auraxium, depending on the weapon, give or take. Obviously, some weapons will be Auraxiumed faster. Shotguns can be Auraxiumed quickly if you know what you're doing. Same for carbines, same for light machine guns. But some weapons, like pistols, unless you're going out of your way to primary them effectively, or sniper rifles, if you're not super mechanically strong with them, or rocket launchers, will take longer to Auraxium, simply because it's harder to get kills with them and you spend a lot more downtime on them. For example, all of my decimators are in the 18-hour range, and I felt quick on those. My Blackhand was about a 17-hour range, and I felt quick on that too. So some weapons are just going to be innately faster than others. You'll just have to accept this for what it is. Weapon type does play a role. But you can ease up this by knowing how to position, what fights are good to farm in, and having the mechanical skill to drop targets quickly. If you don't have the mechanical skill at the end of the day to drop targets quickly and repeatedly, you're going to have a slow Auraxium. And this is why new players just Auraxium gun slowly. You're just not very good at the game. And it's just something to keep in mind. There are many aiming guides on YouTube of how to aim better, or aim training warm-ups. Some people go to VR and plink targets in the head for like 15 minutes before their actual session. There's plenty of ways to improve your aim. And that's just something that's going to come with time. I can't really give any pointers on that, no better than anyone else can, so I simply will not. Still, what's important to consider is the fight. Now, I'm not going to be actually going into a fight today. I'm just going to be looking at the map, telling you what fights I think would be good for Auraxiuming here or not. This is slightly early primetime Connery. It is currently 4:10 p.m., or 4:14 p.m. rather, and it's Esmir. And I can tell you right now that neither of these two major fights on the continent are very good whatsoever. Envari Containment Site sucks, because here's the thing. Not only if you're NC, you're extremely, extremely underpopped. You're probably stuck in the bottom of Containment Site spawn, and you're just going to get spawn killed. There's not a lot of routes to flank, and routes that do flank will take time. You're going to be spending a lot of time just running. Time that could be used farming kills. If you're Vanu, on the other hand, you're probably spawn camping, which obviously you're not going to get kills very quickly on, and if you do die, you're going to have to run all the way back down, which is a whole lot of time spent wasted. In general, containment sites, not the places for gun Auraxiums. You simply spend too much time running, not doing anything. A lot of bases in general can be cut down to this. If you're purely looking at farming kills quickly, you need bases that are quick to get into the action and are relatively hard to spawn camp. Ideally, you also want no worse than 60-40 pop either way. You're slightly favored being the defender with underpop if you have a relatively competent team and are not being spawn zoned. Other than that, 50-50s work best, but you can work with the 20% underpop if you know what you're doing and have the skill to work around it. Now, on the other hand, we have Li Tower, and I can tell you without even loading into this fight that this is not a good fight for Auraxiuming. Because here's the thing. Sure, NCR 38-62, but here's the thing. If you're TR, let's say you're attacking, you probably have Sunderers somewhere in this range. So not only does NC have to push all the way out from the tower, they're probably going to get lasered on their way down. Or you're going to get absolutely deleted by tanks sitting on this ridgeline over here at Li Fortress, which is going to waste time. You're going to die very quickly, and you won't be able to control the fight, because there's not much hard cover to work with around here. As NC, you're a lot just sitting in the open, or if you're in one of the buildings, you're waiting. You're spending a lot of time just sitting around. In comparison, if you're attacking on TR, not only do you have overpop, so there's less targets for you to shoot at, you have to work up against the hill into the NC defense. So unless you can get a good flank, or can coordinate a push, which you probably can't, you're just going to be stuck here on the ridge getting farmed by NC up in the tower. Maybe snipers on the air pad, maybe NC that are sitting in the buildings preventing you from actually going anywhere. And then, once TR actually break and take the point, they have every advantage here. Not only are NC going to be stuck in the tower getting shot to shit whenever they try and do anything, if you're a TR, you're probably not going to be getting that many kills because you already have so much overpop here. So it's just not a good fight. What is a good fight, as I alluded to with the containment site, is bases that generally do not have a lot of downtime and bases where you can control. In my humble opinion, the best situation to be in is either 50-50 or 40-60 underpop, at a base that you have quick spawns at, quick spawns into action, and the defenders also are generally hard to spawn trap. Waterson's Redemption in peak conditions can actually work quite well for this, for example. So the defenders have a lot of ways out, and if they're not being spawn camped, you have quite a few avenues of farming them and controlling the fight. In addition, because up on the rafters here, why did it just go away? On top of the rafters here, where all the points are, you have huge control. You can back out. And really, the kind of fight you want to be in at the end of the day is one where you are controlling, one where you are not dying, but one where you do not have much downtime. You want to be constantly killing people back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, without dying yourself and only taking downtime to reload. And fights like Waterson's, where you have lots of avenues to control to prevent yourself from being flanked or killed, while allowing enemies to funnel straight into you, are ideal. And if you're underpopped, obviously you simply have more targets to shoot. Shoutout goes to some particularly large bases. The stupid Terran Republic banner's in the way, but this is the problem I deal with live. Nascent is excellent, because Nascent is a lot of players funnel in, especially from this north side over here, where they'll all funnel to you, and if you're defending, you sit on the balcony and you snipe into this building. Okay, well now I can tell you Indar, because you know what, that's convenient. That's actually really convenient that Esmir just locked. Crown, for example, is also a terrible farming base. This is just good because it gives me more ways to show you. Crown is a terrible farming base because not only are the defenders usually overpopped, but the attackers not only take a long time to actually get anywhere, but are commonly dropped before they can get anywhere. For example, you might have a Sunderer here, and you might have a Sunderer here, depending on which route you're attacking from. Defenders take a long time to get over to you, and simply can just get crossfired by vehicles, perhaps from Crossroads Hill, or perhaps even from the Alloys Bridge, or etc. You will easily get dropped as a defender trying to reach the enemies, and if you do die, which you probably will because you don't have a lot of cover to work with, it's a long run back. And if you're attacking, you're going to get fish-tunneled all the way up here, or you're going to get stuck in the underground complex of B Point, and you won't be able to kill players. If you're attacking from the north side, from Seri side, you've got to push all the way up this hill, where you're going to get farmed by vehicles and farmed by infantry. It's not a good fight, because it takes too much time and you cannot control effectively. In addition, there's usually just too much pop sunk here to actually get a relatively good fight or be able to control your circumstances. And that's really... I've said it before, but I'll say it again before we end off here. What really matters more than anything is mechanical skill, followed by positioning and control. You need to be able to control the fight where you have as little downtime as possible while dropping as many targets as possible. This is only done through good aim. If you can headshot, obviously, you'll just do way better. Good positioning, knowing where the enemies are going to likely funnel into you, and knowing where you can optimally kill them or flank them from. And being able to control your life and control engagements, so that while you are always killing enemies, you are rarely in danger yourself, or if you are, you have ample time to medkit, to reload, to resustain, recheck, and get going again. I have lots of examples of this ultimately in streams or in a couple gameplay videos. If you want to see me put out a guide on perhaps some positioning or other things, I'm not sure, please let me know. Thank you all. I hope you can Auraxium guns quickly now if you're a salty directive shitter like me, and I will see you all later. Bye.